Get ready for the morning rush. A quick wrap of your news and weather. We'll start with Kristen Curry.
Good morning. Still dealing with some rain and snow up across the north and northeast. Something to keep in mind for those of you who will be hitting the roads early. By lunchtime, there's a few spotty showers up near Raton Pass. Everybody else seeing gradual clearing through the day today. We'll go to bed with a mostly clear sky. Tomorrow looking to be a little bit better. A few spot showers later on Saturday night as our next storm system moves in. Catherine?
Happening today, the House is again expected to vote on the Republicans' new health care proposal. It comes after a delay on the vote yesterday. House Speaker Paul Ryan proposed an amendment to the plan, but an analyst for New Mexico's Legislative Finance Committee says the principles of the bill will likely mean state leaders have a tough call to make when it comes to who qualifies for Medicaid. Though the numbers may change, he says it could cost the state up to $140 million a year if federal matching funds drop. Adam?
Just into our newsroom this morning, construction is expected to begin soon for the Keystone pipeline after the Trump administration issued a presidential permit to the builder. The president is expected to discuss the pipeline later this morning. The State Department says that it determined that building the Keystone XL pipeline serves the U.S. national interest. Protesters, though, spent months at the site concerned about environmental impact. New this morning, the FBI says authorities are aware that a federal judge in Hawaii who ruled against President Trump's travel ban has received threatening messages. U.S. District Judge Derek Watson blocked the federal government from enforcing its ban on new visas for people from 6 mostly Muslim countries and its suspension of the nation's refugee program. New Mexico's education secretary is still on the job this morning. She's not leaving to work for President Trump. According to Politico, the Trump administration recently reversed plans to nominate Hannah Skandera for the Assistant Secretary of Education job. Senate Republicans were reluctant to support Skandera because of her support of the controversial Common Core education standards. Happening today, the man accused of stabbing an Albuquerque cab driver to death is expected in court. Luke Warshevsky is charged with the capital murder of Larry Mullen after Mullen picked him up near Coors in Central last month. He is now set to go before a judge in district court later this morning. That's scheduled for 8:30. Also expected in court today, a suspect in a deadly home invasion. Police say 41-year-old Ramon Varela is one of 2 masked men who broke into a home in January. Investigators say the homeowner caught the 2 men in his house. He shot at them, hitting Raymond Sanchez and killing him. Varela said he had a gunshot wound from that night. New this morning, as of right now, the state is still looking for a more permanent solution to solvency problems with the lottery scholarship program. The legislature did not pass any measures that would affect the program's long-term bottom line in the recent roundhouse session. Some have warned that the scholarship might only pay 70% of tuition starting next fall. Developing overnight, we now know the birth name of the suspect behind Wednesday's deadly terrorist attack in London. The attacker who was killed was identified by authorities as Khalid Massoud, a British-born Muslim. We now know his birth name, which is Adrian Russell Ajeo. Also new overnight, 2 significant arrests have been made. Now 9 people are in custody in that attack, and 1 woman has been released on bail. A white Chicago police officer accused in the deadly shooting of a black teenager is now facing more charges. A grand jury added 16 counts of aggravated battery with a firearm on top of the first-degree murder charges. Officer Jason Van Dyke allegedly shot 17-year-old Laquan McDonald 16 times in 2014. Van Dyke was charged in 2015. At the same time, the city released video of that shooting. A well-known Albuquerque nonprofit is still searching for its missing trailer this morning, and they're asking for your help finding it. On Wednesday night, police say thieves cut through a chained gate and took off with the YDI trailer. Replacing everything is going to cost at least $5,000. Let's turn things over to Kristen.
Today's Metro Threat Index up to an 8. We have strong winds still hitting us out of the northwest, about 20 to 30 miles per hour today. Fire danger actually on the rise too. Red flag warnings in effect for the Albuquerque Metro, and some cooler temperatures will be in the 60s this afternoon. But I do expect the Metro Threat Index to come down as we get into tomorrow, but it'll come right back up again by early next week. Adam?
Tomorrow, an annual motorcycle ride will raise awareness for cancer research and treatment here in New Mexico. The Ride for the Cure NM event started 11 years ago with just 12 riders, and it's grown now to include more than 1,000. It benefits patients at UNM's Comprehensive Cancer Center. Tonight, March Madness basketball continues. Last night, 4 teams clinched their ticket to the Elite 8. Oregon, Gonzaga, Kansas, and Xavier all won their games. 4 more spots in the Elite 8 are up for grabs, and tonight on KRQE, you can watch Butler versus North Carolina, and then Kentucky takes on UCLA. So it's going to be some exciting moments for a lot of fans.
Oh yeah, time now for quick check on your Friday morning commute. Good news is nothing major here in the metro to slow you down. We do have a little bit of some problems up to the north and northeast because of the weather. We will keep you updated on that.
Well, Twitter could soon look a lot different if you're willing to pay for it. The social networking service is considering whether to build a premium version of its TweetDeck interface, which could be ad-free. The premium services would likely be for businesses, marketers, and journalists. Scientists say they're one critical step closer to developing a drug that actually reverses aging. Get that. Journal Science says researchers have identified a molecular process that repairs DNA damage from old age and exposure to radiation. The author says it could be on the market in less than 5 years now. I don't know. There's something about aging, right? It's kind of neat. All right, one panda going another panda story.
Boy.
They're going viral this morning, though, this time because 8-year-old giant panda Kifu still remains young at heart. She climbed to the top of a small tree. Whoa. But her relaxed mood was quickly broken as the branches could not bear her heavy load and suddenly collapsed, sending her tumbling to the ground. She then took her anger out on the branches before completing a somersault.
What's a Friday without a panda story?
Right, I was going to say, we were missing that all week long, and now my life is complete.
Good to have our friends back. All right, time now for the 5 facts.
Number 5, next month, 2 Bosque Farms police officers will be honored at a city council meeting after what they did to save a woman whose life was on the line. Officers David Rowell Jr. and Patrick Hernandez were eating at Sopa's restaurant when they noticed Nicole Morkin choking. One of them pulled her out of the booth. The other performed the Heimlich maneuver. Morkin says she's incredibly thankful. Number 4, the Santa Fe School District is facing an investigation this morning launched by the Public Education Department. Last week, the superintendent dismissed schools early so that students and teachers could attend a rally at the Roundhouse. Public Education Secretary Hannah Scandera says the use of school buses and the district website to organize and announce the rally appears to break the law. The Superintendent Veronica Garcia, though, says bus drivers volunteered their time and the teachers union paid field trip mileage rates. She also says the district didn't violate any other law.
And number 3, power is back on to hundreds of people who lost during yesterday's powerful wind. Today, there's cleanup to do. This tree uprooted near a power pole that also didn't stand a chance against the wind. Unfortunately, brings us to number 2. We still have wind in the forecast, so something we'll have to get used to today. Fire danger coming up here in the metro. Lingering showers to the north and northeast.
And number 1, a House committee is meeting right now this morning in Washington, D.C., discussing an amendment brought by House Speaker Paul Ryan to the president's health care plan. This as lawmakers face an ultimatum from President Trump to vote on the controversial bill today. If not, the president says he'll move on to other priorities. Dozens of members of the Republican Party are still opposed to the measure, and with no Democrats planning to vote for it, Republicans can't lose more than about 22 of their own members if they expect to pass it. We'll keep you posted on what happens.